What kind of discussion are you going to want for the minutes regarding this financial report?
I think open discussion about whatever anyone wants to contribute. I'm not trying to shield anything that we're saying, but I wanted to just make sure before the meeting that everyone kind of knew where we stood financially. Whatever questions you have, I mean, the one thing that Cameron just poked me in the shoulder blade about is, what do you do to enforce getting paid through some of these things? And I don't know that there is anything that we can do effectively to do it. The one thing that I would say is CAL FIRE has approved and signed a new agreement with the California Fire Safe Council to fund the county coordinator program for another 18 months. And one of the caveats is they will not give them any money until all of the current grants, sub grantees have been paid. So that's really our best assurance that we will get paid, is that they're not going to get money from CAL FIRE until they've paid us. I don't know if JC Hyde, the head of the California Fire Safe Council, believes that I'm an enemy of hers, or what. She has bad reputation as being malicious. I don't know if she'll attempt to find other ways to not pay us. My impression is that she will not, because we've signed everything off and they've said great work. And I just got an email from JC herself on Thursday that said, I'm just so impressed with all the wonderful work you guys are doing down there. So I don't know. I'm hopeful that we get paid in March and that this is a blip. Okay, let's move forward. It's 10:30 on Saturday, March 15th, 2025. And I'm calling the Board of Directors meeting for the Safe Community Project to order. Harut, could you do roll call for us?
Of course. Thank you, David. David Barrett.
Here.
Cameron Barrett.
Here.
Steve Owens.
Here.
Bill Whitney.
Present.
And Harry here. Thank you.
So we have a quorum. We have a board in place. So my opening remarks will be brief. We're faced with a couple of grant issues where the federal government is reviewing grants to ensure their compliance, and the California Fire Safe Council has not paid us money, and we will address that in the financial report. But overall, the issues that we've been dealing with relate to the January fires, both in Pasadena and in Altadena, as well as in the San Fernando Valley and in Ventura. And our team has operated in the most professional and capable way possible. And we are participating in multiple neighborhood councils and homeowners associations and related town halls. And there is a broader and wider, not only acceptance, but dependence on the expertise that we bring to wildfire safety. We've initiated some extremely positive and exciting opportunities within our organization, which we will discuss during the course of this meeting. And if we can find ways to overcome the unexpected limitation on funding, which is owed to us, I think we're in for a very, very productive year. So let's move forward to our financial report. It's been provided to everyone, and you've seen both a combination of monthly reports as well as an income statement, so that we can move through these things as effectively as possible. Does anybody have questions about any of those documents? The three key documents that were provided: January, February, and our income statement through the end of February. Are there any questions, discussion that needs to happen?
Am I correct? One of the notes is that in terms of the line of credit, we're now pretty much maxed out. Is that correct?
No, Well, it is as of today, but at the end of, if you look at the,
No, I meant as of today. If I'm
as of
reading,
today, we've got about, I don't know, 9,000 available, something like that.
okay,
But we had brought it down so that 33,000 was available at the end of February.
right. No, I understand. It said here, line of credit, 1,000 available, 59,000 outstanding.
That was from January.
Okay, got it. Okay, so right now we've got maybe 9,000
Right.
available.
So
Okay.
between January and February, we paid down 32,000 or $33,000.
Good.
It's a very a note on the credit line through the Firefighters First Credit Union. It's extremely generous line of credit in terms of the interest. If we paid nothing but interest on 60,000 bucks, so if we were totally maxed out, it would be $5,000 a year. That's not a lot of interest.
No, seriously, no, it's very
You
low.
know? So it's very generous, and it's the sort of thing where it's possible that I will actually talk to them about extending our line of credit temporarily. We'll see what happens. The one thing I don't want to do is give them cause for concern about our viability and that sort of thing. So if there are no other questions about the financial documents, I'd like someone to make a motion that we approve what's been submitted.
I'd like to make a motion, please.
And someone
approve.
second.
Second,
Everyone in favor of accepting the financial documents from the last 3 months, say aye.
aye.
Passes unanimously. And thank you very much for that. Next up, old business. And again, this is me talking, so I apologize in advance for so much of this coming from me. I'm going to take this a little bit out of order. Our work with Operation Save a Life has been proceeding well. Is everyone familiar with Operation Save a Life? Do I need to review that at all? Okay, so KIDA, in partnership with us, the LA Fire Department, ABC7 Television, and Home Depot, has supported our efforts to install smoke alarms throughout Los Angeles County. And it is a very important program designed to help save lives. This is likely, although we don't know the answer, this is likely the last year that kind of support will happen because KIDA has been sold to an investment fund. And my understanding is that the future of the company is uncertain. But this is an important issue in that it allows us to identify at-risk areas in the city and to conduct training, inspections of those homes, and installation of smoke alarms and CO alarms. And the proper terminology in 2025 for both is alarm, not detector. So smoke alarms and CO alarms. We've had tremendous success with our LAFD partners. When we operate in the county, we do it without the LA County Fire Department. Only because the LA County Fire Chief believes that public-private partnerships are too challenging to manage. So the fact that we're doing it is not without approval, it's just without engagement. We did several of these a couple of years ago with LA County Fire, and they were not good partners. In fact, we had fire captains telling their crews to stay in the rigs, don't get out, don't talk to anybody. So just not a helpful relationship from LA County Fire. But Operation Save a Life is continuing, and we have FEMA grant money to support it, and KIDA support, and we have the soft money support from LA Fire, in that we can detail resources to any canvassing that we do. We continue to also respond to fatality fires. There was one just a couple days ago in Fire Station 66's district, and we will be canvassing on the 22nd, next Saturday. I'll be part of that, and we're going to be doing all we can to help those folks. So an update on the fires from the past. On January the 7th, at 10:30 in the morning, wildfire was reported in the Palisades. And by 2:30 in the afternoon, it was destroying homes. I went to the Emergency Operations Center at the request of the LAFD and the general manager of EMD, Carol Parks, and collaborated with the LA Fire Department's director for the EOC, Robert Nelson, and the LAPD's director, a two-star, Michael Rumkunis, and acted as a communications liaison out to the field, checking in on what CERT was doing, what any other volunteer groups were doing, and trying to get feedback to them. And was there also on the morning of the 8th. We have one of our members, Greg Doyle, on scene at the Palisades, starting at about 5:30 in the morning. And he was there till about 3:30 in the afternoon on the 8th in the Palisades. His photographs are remarkable, and most noticeable, nearly every photograph shows burning structures and no fire apparatus or firefighters anywhere near them. After about 10:15 in the morning, there are fire apparatus operating in terms of structure defense. But it's not appropriate to assign any blame or to determine why they weren't visible, because I can tell you that in all of my discussions with firefighters who were on scene, they were observers. They were not able to fight fire. For people that have been on the job for 35 or 40 years, Steve, never seen anything like it in their lives. I spoke at USC about the fires, along with members from Engine 15, who were pre-deployed on the morning of the 7th and who were the third engine on scene up in the Palisades Highlands. They believe that they, along with the other engine companies that were first up there, saved about 60 homes in the Highlands. They were then redirected to the area just above where Pacific Coast Highway and Sunset meet, and there were apartment buildings taken off, and there was nothing they could do other than watch them burn. In the evening, they went up to the Palisades proper, 2 blocks north from Fire Station 69, which was surrounded by fire apparatus and firefighters defending the fire station. They pulled up in front of a 75 by 50 commercial 2-story that had light smoke from the roof. They made entry. It was debris on the roof that was burning. They put that out. They extinguished embers around the building. They moved furniture away from the windows. They closed all the drapes. And then they hopped on the rig and drove 1 block into the ABC streets to try and defend a home that was already burning. And after a few minutes, they determined there was nothing they could do. So they went around the block again. This is about anywhere, if you 10 to 15 minutes after they left the building that they had just defended, and it was fully involved with fire through the roof and out of every window. And at that point in time, they started asking themselves, why are we here? What in the world can we do? And in their typical structure defense thing, they pull up in front of the building to defend. They lay an 1.5-inch line on either side of the structure. The captain and another member on the lines, and they typically are using 100 GPM nozzles, so they can empty their tank in about 2 minutes if they just continue to let water flow. They attempted refilling their tank at 2 different hydrants. The first one, it took 22 minutes to get 400 gallons. The next tank, it took 35 minutes to get 350 gallons. So as you can see, there are just not a lot of options for them relative to doing things. So this is going to be a complicated issue to resolve. And whereas we were not in Altadena in the county, a tremendous amount of reporting of, horrible things taking place there. And there's just nothing that we can really do about our knowledge of that other than to learn from it and to help people move forward. So that's my comments about what took place on those particular days. We have done a lot since then, but I think it kind of fits more into new news. So I'll, outside of answering questions or any discussion related to this, we'll move forward. Anybody have any questions or anything they want to bring up relative to the two worst days of those fires cause or anything else?
You said that Doyle was up there the second day of the fire. Is that correct?
Yeah, the morning of the 8th.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, there was no way we were going to put him in harm's way the night of the 7th.
Sure.
But I can tell you that at
Well, he
midnight,
wasn't available either.
well, but regardless, he wouldn't. I wouldn't have wanted him to be there. He and I talked on the 7th multiple times.
I
So,
remember.
and he was like, should I leave right now? And I'm like, no, we don't want you to be in harm's way. And we really had very little information. And when I spoke to the CERT commander, Frank Hurtado, multiple times on the night of the 7th, he's like, we're just driving around. There's not really anything that we can do. And I can't see anything. And it's just completely smoky. And we're driving at like 5 miles an hour because the wind is blowing so hard. So it was really a very difficult situation for anyone to even have any good reconnaissance. In fact, the first real feedback came from Beverly Hills Deputy Chief Al Poyer, who sent a text to Joe Castro in the morning of the 8th saying hundreds and hundreds of homes are gone. And at that point in time, the Emergency Management Department and EOC did not know that. So it escalated pretty quickly on the 8th, but in the time from when the fire was reported until the next morning, very difficult. I do have an interesting photograph, which I could share with folks separately, from Brush Patrol 19, looking through their front windshield at about 14:30 hours in the afternoon on Sunset in the Village. And you can see the header in the distance, and it's black and dark and large. And on Sunset Boulevard, there are people shopping. So, no one had any idea that it would come in that direction, obviously. I mean, I don't want to blame people. I wasn't there. But the photograph shows people shopping. And so they must have thought that they were okay. So there's that. Okay. So the third item in our old business is the Wildfire Alliance, which is our partnership with the LAFD. And the short report is it's going wonderfully. Our interaction with the bureaus is very strong, with the assistant chiefs in those bureaus and with the community resilience officers. Those are Captain Ones. It's outstanding. We get invited to all of their events, or most of them. We participate in things collaboratively. It has just been a very, very positive thing. And there's been no change with the change in leadership within the fire department. Chief Crowley was obviously a big supporter of ours, and I think Chief Villanueva is a bigger supporter of ours. So that's fine. As it relates to the Cal Fire Safe Council grants, they owe us $240,000 that has been due for more than half a year. And it's our expectation that we will be paid in March. They have been approved by CAL FIRE for another round of grants. And assuming that they give us an opportunity to continue with that, that would provide us with approximately $175,000 for LA County and a separate $175,000 for Riverside County. My understanding is the amounts and everything are the same. So that would be for 18 months. And the way that I would look at it is we'd be able to draw down, I think, approximately $80,000 for each. And my assumption would be is that's all we would get. But still, that's $160,000, which would take us for at least a year in each of those programs and give us a chance to do other kinds of things. So I think that there is potential there to continue. And in doing so, I would want to improve and strengthen the relationship we have with the California Fire Safe Council and with all of the people who fund us. Are there any questions about old business?
I don't know if my question is about old business, but it was prompted by your report on old business. So should I ask it?
Sure.
Because of our uh, challenges with getting paid by the California Fire Safe Council, are you still interested in applying for a new grant from them?
It's a good question. And I think the answer is we have to see what the actual opportunity is. So what has been communicated is that it is a continuation of what the previous grant was. And if in fact it is what I just described, then yes, absolutely, we would move forward. But as I just stated, my position on it would be is that the advance, which is limited to, I think, to about $80,000 for each county, would be all that I would count on receiving. Right, so the additional, what, 105,000 or whatever, that would be a bonus if we were able to get that. And I think there are some ways that we can improve getting paid by them, and even things that they suggested themselves, Cameron. I mean, we kept hearing that they didn't have money in this, so they couldn't pay people, and as a result, we didn't bill them until last summer. And they were like, you should send us a bill every couple months, regardless, because then it's a much smaller amount of money and they have other ways to potentially pay it. So I don't know that that's true or that that works, but that's just one of the many improvements that might be possible. So yes, I would want us to proceed because, you know, $160,000 as an advance, which they paid the last time, would be very helpful. Okay, let's move on to new business. So one thing that I haven't listed here, which I guess could have been part of the financial report, is to just tell people a little bit about upcoming grants and things that are going on with that. So the city of Los Angeles has awarded us a grant of $75,000 through Council District 1. And that was put up because it's over $5,000. It had to go to the city council. If you have questions about that process, Harut could probably answer how that process works. But the motion to approve $75,000 for us was approved. And we are now waiting for a contract. There are typically 60 people that work in that environment, and there's only 3 or 4 of them now. So they're saying it could take 6 months to actually get the contract, even though it's only, you know, if I was doing it, it would take 5 minutes to get it done from a boilerplate. So I don't know how to advance that or move that forward. So to be faster, but I would tell you that once that grant is approved, that we will get that money very quickly afterwards. And there's another benefit to it, which is that because that money was approved as soon as we have a grant number, which is a number that's issued to us, my understanding is any other city council office can piggyback on top of that without it having to go back to council for a second vote. And we have already been talking with Council District 12, Council District 4, and Council District 11 about programs in their areas. And my hope is that we can turn 75,000 into at least 150,000, if not more. So it's a good opportunity for us. We also have an opportunity for a $30,000 grant from the Motorola Solutions Foundation. We'll hear about whether we can submit final paperwork for consideration next month. So, and there's many other things that we're working on. So our MOA with the LAFD needs to be renewed moving forward to our new business. And the fire chief has said, you know, we'll just re-sign it, and it's for 2 years. So that's likely to be a very smooth forward motion on execution. And we've entered into a new MOA with an organization called Black Fox Timber. They are a defensible space organization. They have everyone you could imagine on your team related to the process of defensible space, foresters, biologists, work crews. They have tractors and chippers and all the equipment used for mechanical trimming. And they have a lot of work throughout the state. They're already on several projects, not related to us, but on several projects that are within our area of responsibility, our AOR. Everyone in Riverside loves them. No one in LA knows them. But it's a terrific opportunity for us to seek funding related to defensible space. Typically, the way those grants work is 10% can be for oversight, and the rest of it is for the actual work. But if we get a if we get a $5 million grant, $500,000 is for oversight. So there's a lot of potential opportunity. And because they're so successful at it, one of the things I agreed to with their CEO, Jimmy Smith, is that they would actually write the grants. They know how to write them so that they're successful. They bring in a lot of money every year. And I think it's a very good opportunity for us during the course of the coming year, not only with CAL FIRE, but Cal OES and foundations and so on. Cameron, why don't you tell everyone a little bit about Rebuild LA?
We started a new podcast in the wake of the firestorms of January. It's hosted on Buzzsprout. I hope everybody can see right here. This is the podcast website, but you don't have to go to Buzzsprout to listen to it. It's on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, I think everywhere that you get your podcasts except Audible. I think we're still waiting on that, David. What's our update on Audible? David?
I'm looking.
Oh, okay.
Cameron, can we get it on the MySafe LA website?
Yeah.
It is linked through MySafe LA. It's linked through Wildfire LA. Are you aware of wildfirela.org, Bill?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
our companion website. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. No, I looked at some of this recently.
Oh, great.
I was sure I got it from our website. That's what
Yep.
I was
Yep.
asking.
You can definitely get it there too. If you're one of those folks that likes to listen to podcasts in the car or when you're walking the dog like I do,
Got it.
Apple Podcasts and Spotify are an easy and quick way to do it. I'd ask a favor of all of you guys. Spotify, for example, needs you to listen to at least 15 minutes, and then you can rate, review, and subscribe. If you could do that, that goes a huge way toward legitimizing and moving our podcast forward without any kind of marketing. It's already had 500 downloads. We're on episode 16. We're currently posting twice a week.
Mm-hmm.
So it drops at 1 a.m. on Tuesday and 1 a.m. on Friday. The episodes have been widely varied, which is what we want to go for. This is, by the way, guys, you can see my screen, right?
Yes.
Yeah. This is one of Greg's images. Just this right here. Yeah, they're kind of startling. Anyway, and this is one of the images he took that David was talking about it early in the morning of the 8th. Just things freely burning and no one around. And this beautiful, our beautiful new logo for Rebuild LA. So it's become pretty popular, and we've gotten some really good guests so far. The most popular episodes so far have been Greg Doyle talking about his experiences there, and a retired retired justice of federal court justice, Superior Court Justice, Trish Bigelow, talking about her experience evacuating. And we're going to have more survivors on. We have another survivor here, Sue Pasco, also of the Palisades. And then I just finished a pretty remarkable interview with 2 survivors of the Altadena fire. Every single survivor. Oh, and another interview is happening next week with another survivor of the mobile home park in the Palisades, kind of a hidden secret and a gem in the Palisades. And it's, of course, completely gone. And now the owner of that park wants to make a resort out of it instead of a mobile home park for affordable housing, which is the reality of rebuilding LA right now.
That was on the news this morning.
Oh, it was? Wow. Okay. So this will be really interesting. Was John Brown interviewed? Do you remember?
I don't, I kind of just barely saw it type of thing.
Okay.
But
and when you say the news, can you give me just so I can do my research, can you give me what news you were listening to?
KTLA, I think it was KTLA.
Okay.
Okay. KTLA.
I'll check it out. Anyway, every single survivor we've talked to is furious. I think that's the best adjective for me to use for all of them. But Rebuild LA is not just about survivor stories, although they are rather remarkable. There's all kinds of stuff. Technology and sciences we dip our toe into. We have little kind of subsections of it. So we've got survivor stories, but we also have electeds. Tracy Park is on our list of interviews. She just hasn't been able to make time for us yet. All the interviews are done via Zoom. They last 30 to 45 minutes. We've had a lot of really fascinating people say yes. A few of my favorites, if you want to listen, if you're a nerd like I am and you want to listen to a sciencey one, episode 15 with Dr. Chris Potter from NASA is fascinating. He's trying to get some new maps into the hands of firefighters that have to do with ember indexes. So that's pretty cool. Super nerdy and fun. If you want to hear a furious and a slightly mad survivor, Sue Pasco, episode 13. And Trish Bigelow, if you want to hear our most popular one, that's episode 6. And our very own David Barrett was in the inaugural episode 1, where he talks about one of the best ways to protect your neighborhood and your home is to become a fire safe council. So yeah, please, if you could jump on your favorite podcasting app or MySafe LA and listen to a few minutes and then just give us a rating. Okay. If you can write a few words, even if it's just, wow, this is great. Or, huh? I mean, anything, just write anything, and then a thumbs up and please subscribe, whether you ever listen to it again or not. We would greatly appreciate it. It's going back gangbusters, but it's taking up 99.8% of my time. So David and I would love to be able to get another producer editor on board to produce some video stories. But I think we know where we stand as far as hiring new people goes right now. So that's a bit in stasis. And that's the update on Rebuild LA.
So Stephen and Harut, it's really good listening while you're driving.
Okay.
So while you're going to Universal or going to the port, it's good stuff to listen to in the car.
I was just thinking about that. I think it would be a great time to check out all that stuff. So thank you.
And David, I still have my driver's license.
Yeah, but you don't go anywhere.
You mean I go to LA all the time?
Oh, okay. All right.
Well, my drives are long. I think that's
So for everyone, when you're in the car driving, it's a good thing to listen to.
So
I would tell you they are all, first of all, this goes back to Cameron's earliest career moves as a journalist, and these are very well produced, very well put together. She's just done an amazing job.
I started in radio at Brown University like 402 years ago. And it's very weird to be back in radio. It feels like radio, and they've been fascinating to do. And it's been it's not how do I explain? It's a very heavy lift, but it's like something I feel super comfortable and confident doing. So it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah. Well, I've listened to one of the podcasts, and you do sound very comfortable.
I've got one of those Steve Owens voices. That's what it is.
Maybe
the Steve Owens voice. Steve Owens. See, you have a voice but you have a face for being on camera. I have a face for radio, and so I'm sticking with it. It's It's my genre.
Stop it.
It's a perfect place for me. Hiding
So-
behind my microphone.
Yeah. So, hey, so I'm a little kind of behind times of the Spotify thing that you're talking about.
Do you use Spotify for music, Steve? Do you like Spotify? No,
I don't
it's
even know
like
what
it's like
Spotify. I don't even-
Pandora or Spot. It's just a music streaming app. You got
It's
to pay
something
for
you
it, but
download on your phone.
yep,
Oh,
yep.
okay.
Spotify or yeah, Pandora doesn't do podcasts the way Spotify does. But just go to Apple Podcasts. That's the easiest thing. It's right on your It's right on your. You have an iPhone, right, Steve?
No.
Oh, okay. Then go with Spotify. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, that makes sense. And it's listed in almost every streaming service, not all of them, but almost.
Yeah, I mean, most of us know the bigger ones, but if you're a podcast nerd and you've got all kinds of like cool Buzzsprout stuff and stuff like that, then yeah, it's all there.
So, moving forward, as some of you may know, the senior leadership in the Beverly Hills Fire Department is made up of LA City retirees. The deputy chief is Al Poyer. The current fire chief is Greg Barton. He's been in that role for like 12 years or something like that. And he's going to retire soon. And when he does, Poyer is set to become the next fire chief in Beverly Hills. The fire marshal and community risk reduction chief is Trevor Richmond from LA Fire. The training chief is Zipperman from LA Fire. And this field
Yeah.
support, and this field support chief is Yogikas from LA City Fire.
Wow.
They just hired Andy Ward to develop a evacuation plan for the city. And they have kind of a semi MySafe LA type program is probably the best way to put it, called Just in Case Beverly Hills. I think the name was developed by someone throwing darts at names on a wall, and that's how they picked it.
They didn't
But-
pick it.
But
It's the cray cray woman behind it.
it is the name of this no matter what, but it is also non-functional. And so the fire chief and Chief Richmond have come to us to say, what can you do to assist us? And although I'm not sure exactly what they're willing to invest in, it could be anywhere between $100,000 and $250,000 in business for us. It is a good opportunity. The main difference between what we do and what they do is they want it all to be volunteer based. And you know, I don't know how that will actually work. One of the options that we will provide them with is that we just run the program with our paid folks, and that the volunteers then play a support role underneath that, like very similar to how CERT operates. So we'll see what happens, but they want to move quickly. I will give them a proposal with pricing and stuff this coming week. I think the fastest they can move is 6 weeks to 8 weeks. So it's not like we would get money in the immediate future from it, but it is a good opportunity for supporting us throughout the year.
That would not be a MySafe Beverly Hills.
Nope.
Right.
In
No, it
just
has
in
to
case
has to
Beverly Hills.
has to stick with the fascinating name of Just in Case Beverly Hills.
Got it. That's what I was assuming.
But you know, that's not to say that down the road we don't say, hey, why don't we make a website called MySafe Beverly Hills, MySafe BH or something? Who
Yeah.
knows?
Here's-
And we did secure all the web domain names related to that. So if we were to create just MySafe Beverly Hills or MySafe BH, we have both of those.
Yep.
So it is an interesting opportunity for us as we move forward. We have a number of expanding relationships, and some of these are from the history of interacting with folks the way that I have, and some of them are from podcast discussions and so on. In fact, I'd like to once again have Cameron tell you a little bit about how we have moved our relationship with the NFPA forward?
I interviewed Michelle Steinberg, who's in charge of their wildfire unit for National Fire
But before
Protection
that,
Association.
we-
I'm doing this.
Okay.
I'm doing it in a chronological way. So anyway, I interviewed her because weirdly we got a request for, no, we didn't get a request. We were mentioned in a NFPA podcast. So we were, somebody at NFPA reached out to us and said, hey, Michelle Steinberg, who is a wildfire coordinator for our wildfire division here at the NFPA, speaks very highly of you. And I was like, really? And so I listened to the podcast where she was interviewed, kind of an insular podcast. They interviewed their own. And she was going on and on. This is right after the firestorms, on and on about the great work that MySafe LA does. And so I was like, wow, that's pretty cool. I love the fact that they know about us. Now, I've been to the NFPA. They're now totally virtual, but they used to have a pretty large office outside of Boston. I visited them, gosh, way back, guys. I'm talking like 2010, 2011, something like that. Because we always used the NFPA's messaging, but then we would hyper-localize it for MySafe LA. So we've known them and have seen them as an excellent messaging organization. They've only been around for 150 years. They're the reason why you have sprinklers in your apartment buildings and smoke alarms in your home. But they're mostly policy and coding. And so she was talking about how cool we were. And so I called up and called the guy back, and he goes, yeah, we want you on our podcast. And I guess said, great, we want Michelle on ours. So we interviewed Michelle, and that's a fun episode if you want to dig that one up. I don't know. I'll tell you, it is Michelle Steinberg is episode number. I don't know. Episode number 11. And then David and I were interviewed for their podcast, which came out, what, David, 2 weeks ago? Yeah. So if you want to look up NFPA's podcast, it's called the NFPA podcast. I think they didn't spend a lot of time on naming their, we're in there too. And so now that we were, all happy and interviewing each other, Michelle Steinberg introduced us to the National Academy of Sciences, and we were invited to present at their meeting coming up. I can't believe this, but it's literally like in 10 days, 11 days, no, 9 days. And it's in DC. And so we'll be giving a quick presentation there. The presentation is a bit of a mouthful. It's about, you're going to love this one, guys. Sorry, I didn't have all this up and ready to go. So I apologize for it taking as long as it's taken.
Well, while she's looking for that,
The National Academy of
also-
Sciences, no, doesn't matter. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, you could also look up the NFPA's podcast on the LA wildfires, and listen to that, because in there, Michelle just raves.
That's when
about-
she talks about it. Yeah.
just
that's
raves
when she
about
talks it.
MySafe LA and what a great job we do. And this invitation that we got actually is a direct result of my providing our 2024 wildfire annual report to her, because that's what she forwarded to her colleagues, and they were like, oh, these people have got to be here. And you have all received a digital copy of our 2024 wildfire report, and I will get all of you a printed hard copy. It's impressive, and it's a key fundraising tool for us. So,
Mhm.
all right, Cameron.
So the National Academy of Sciences, Engineering, and something or other has asked us to
And medicine.
present, and medicine has asked us to present on the, ready, Forum on Medical and Public Health Preparedness for Disasters and Emergencies, meeting number 50. So that's what we'll be in Washington, D.C. for.
And they're paying for it.
Okay.
Well, I mean, we're yeah, they're flying us out and they're putting us up. I don't think anybody's, David and I haven't gotten that $50,000 speaking fees yet. Sorry, we haven't managed to.
No, I
Damn.
was gonna ask if it's
Yeah.
like, which is great.
Yeah, no.
Can you please repeat the title again?
Certainly.
Forum on Medical.
It's the Forum on Medical and Public Health Preparedness for Disasters and Emergencies. And obviously, this is a long-standing series because this is meeting number 50.
And what is the date on?
The 25th and 26th of March. And it's at their building, the National Academy of Sciences, Engineering, and Medicine. It's at that building. It's right on Constitution Avenue. It's right.
And is it live streamed?
No, but it is a Zoom invite. And, I can look into any kind of live streaming. I know that people attend in person and via Zoom. It's a series of meetings where there's a panel. Each member of the panel has a 10-minute PowerPoint, and then there's 30 minutes of questions. It's a very kind of traditional conference format. And the second day is specific to wildfire. And so the second day is when we'll be presenting.
Okay, and if you could find out whether there is a Zoom
I'll do
option
it.
for us, please. Thank you.
I'll do it. We offered 2 presentations. They have yet to get back to us. I mean, we do so many things, and our work on wildfire has become so varied that we'll see. But I have a feeling that they want our organization to be represented in one presentation. And so David and I have yet to finalize what that presentation will be.
Okay. Other than that, all of the relationships that we have outside of the city of LA are evolving nicely. We have a really nice evolution with Cal OES, both with their NGO folks and also with their wildfire folks. The executive director for wildfire mitigation, a former LA County Fire Assistant Chief, Jay Lopez. He and I are at the point where we're texting each other every couple of days back, how's it going? What's happening with this and that? And Cameron's film crew is in the midst of producing a film about what home hardening looks like, using his home in Altadena as the example. It's a terrific opportunity for us to teach people about that. Our relationship with CAL FIRE also continues to evolve in multiple ways. In Riverside, CAL FIRE is the Riverside County Fire Department, and their fire chief and our folks in Riverside talk all the time. Their division chiefs, which are the equivalent of an assistant chief in LA, they call on Nicole and Enid 2-3 times a week to attend meetings, to present, to engage. We've got 15 FireWise sites under development and 5 fire safe councils under development in Riverside. The trust level is at the point where, and in case you're not aware, CAL FIRE actually reviews and approves all the NFPA FireWise site applications. And they have given Enid access to the system and have asked her to be another set of eyes to review, and if anyone's declined, to help them resolve the deficiency so they could be approved. So she actually has access to the states, the federal governments. I'm saying that the wrong way. Strike that. She has access to the NFPA's national database for managing NFPA FireWise sites. So that's a really good relationship improvement there. If people have questions about any of the entities we're working with and how that might work, this is a good time to raise those questions. But I think, I would say that as an organization, more people know about us, more people engage with us, and more people collaborate with us than at any time in our history. And it's very, very positive. Anybody have questions or anything they want to talk about relative to that? Okay. Let's move on to policies and updates for 2025. So I've sent a number of policies to all of the directors to review. Does anyone have questions about any of those policies? Any discussion related to any of the policies that has been sent to everyone?
I do. To start, has our lawyer reviewed them of recent? Or in other words, are these are the policies that were written not necessarily recently? In some cases, they're 3 to 5 years old. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay. Has our
But,
lawyer?
but we have sent them for everyone to review every year.
Okay. Okay. So I had a question. I'm just curious. Under uniforms, Roman numeral 2. Okay, it's saying about use ID card V22 October 15, 2017. Is that still
No,
current?
they get updated every year. So these policies will be changed to reflect current dates. But outside of that, unless you have issues to discuss, which is fine, that's why we're doing this. The intent is for them to stay the same.
Okay. Let's see. I just had, I mean, these things are minor, but I just thought improvement's always good. Number 4, it talks about not to be, talks about organization works diligently, not to be confused with LAFD specifically. Should it say and other partners? It seems very LAFD oriented versus mentioning other partners. Also, same idea. LAFD purchased materials must be kept at home and should not be used at all. Does that suggesting what you're saying is when people are operating, not that they can't wear them if they're on their out on a date or something social or whatever?
Right. Well,
Okay.
and that's more referring to like PPE,
Oh,
brush
okay.
jackets and that sort of thing. It doesn't
Okay.
really relate to anything that the public could purchase, like an LAFD cap.
Okay. Under autos, for personal use, the insurance that says 100, 300, should that be increased to 250, 500?
It's actually higher than that now. I think it's 501 million, but I will double check that.
Okay, just get curious on that. Same thing with property and bodily injury. And let's see. Hang on 1 second. PIO plan, Regional Fire Safe Council. But this is just, again, a comment. LA County's mentioned a lot. But the collaboration that is talked about seems just very LA City oriented versus LA City and other partners.
We can make those adjustments. That's reasonable.
Okay, under 3 under the PIO, that they would lead press briefings alongside LAFD and other areas that was related to brush fire response and what have you. Again, I would just expand that beyond the LAFD.
Okay.
And same thing, just in number 4, just mention other partners.
So my comment would be is that on all of these policies, we will review to ensure that the date for all of them is from present looking forward, and that any reference to LAFD is not exclusive to, unless our MOA specifically references
Sure.
a specific item, and that it become more generic to our interaction with any city, fire, or police entity.
That was the suggestion.
Okay, good.
That's it.
Those are good suggestions. Notwithstanding those changes, is there any other discussion?
Yeah, I just want to ask one question, Dave, about you were out talking about Operation Save a Life earlier with with partnering with KEDA.
Yeah.
Is that this one about the smoke alarm plan? Is that
Yeah.
is that what that is?
Yeah.
Okay.
But the smoke alarm plan, Stephen, is not limited to Operation Save a Life. Operation Save a Life is just kind of a subset within our smoke alarm plans.
Okay.
Right, and that was the other I didn't mention, the smoke alarm plans. I know we've done some things with San Marino. I don't know, again, whether that should just be inclusive of other organizations beyond LAFD.
Right, it should be. And we'll make that change. And what we'll do is, once those changes are made, we will submit them again so that everyone can have another review. And then at our next board meeting, we'll approve them.
Okay, and from a personal point of view, I I mean, we could certainly approve them now, I would think, on the basis that those changes will be made versus necessarily waiting unless it doesn't matter if we wait.
If someone would like to propose that we approve them now, including the pending changes, and that we simply file and accept them once updated, I'm open to someone making a motion like that.
I would move that we do so, that we go ahead and do it, and then it's behind us.
I'll second.
And Steven seconds that. So all in favor of approving the current set of policies, and we should probably list them just for the sake of noting this. So hold on just 1 second, please.
Just me, or there's a lag with David's.
Yeah, a little bit. There's
A little bit on the last.
dip sometimes. Yep.
Sorry. Okay. I just wanted to ask there, the Newport Beach address, is that?
Yeah, that's a good address right now for MySafe LA.
Okay, got it.
Yeah,
Yeah, and some of these do have the old address on them. That is something else.
the Riverside one, not the Riverside City, but the Riverside Drive.
I think it was that one.
Yeah, okay.
But yeah, the address.
We'll make sure to update that. Thank you.
Sure.
Okay.
So Mr. Whitney has moved that we accept the current policies, and Steve Owens has seconded based on making sure that all the dates are updated correctly, and that we do not exclusively
And addresses.
and that we do not exclusively identify LA City or LA County Fire. And that includes 8 different policies: conflict of interest policy, financial management policy, vehicle policy, procurement policy, records retention policy, inventory management policy, our uniform policy, and our indirect expenses policy. All in favor of approving those policies, say aye.
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 Passes unanimously. Okay. Wait, I've just lost my place here. Okay, here we. Okay. So, based on the issues related to our financial status, I may want to call a Zoom discussion near the end of this month to discuss how we move into April. But at the present time, that's uncertain. However, I would like us to pick a date in the latter part of April. And it seems to me that our best option for getting everyone together is on a Saturday morning or a Sunday morning. How do people feel about trying a Sunday morning?
Better for me.
Well, but
Sure.
Steve, you've got church, right?
Yeah, that wouldn't work for me.
Yeah, well, that's right.
All right. So
Sunday afternoon,
how about
evening,
or what about Saturday afternoon?
Yeah,
or evening?
Saturdays,
Yeah.
Saturdays are great for me.
Does Saturday morning not work? Or
yeah, I mean,
It's fine.
I try to take, I try to take half of that day off as much as I can, but
okay.
but that's okay. It doesn't always happen. And I have a crushing April with production, with Calistoga and everything. So as long as it's after Easter, I'm wide open.
When is Easter this year?
The 20th.
The 20th.
Okay.
I don't get back from Calistoga until the 19th. So yeah. So as long as it's those last 2 weeks of April, really
How
good
about
for
the
me.
26th?
I
No,
think the 26th would be good.
Can't
Yeah,
do
that works for
I mean, can't.
baptism for the second grandchild.
What about in the afternoon though, Bill? Afternoon or evening? Festivities after?
You know what? I'm not even sure exactly what time. It's probably a 10 or 11 o'clock type thing, and then there'll be a whole social event with all the both sides of the families afterwards, and blah blah blah. So I wouldn't be back home probably until very late afternoon, early evening, if we don't stay up in LA.
How
Well, the
about,
next Saturday is.
what
already
about the
in May.
3rd of May?
One
My
sec.
dog's birthday,
Uh,
but I don't think our festivities will go too late.
3rd May is fine for me.
let me double check one thing.
I mean, I've got conflicts that aren't important.
That works.
Works for me.
All right, so the
Yep.
3rd of May is what we will plan for our next board meeting.
Can I request something regarding the invitations, David?
Uh-huh.
So if a calendar invite could be sent via Zoom, so the Zoom link is in the calendar invite, and that can be populated to a calendar, that would be
I don't
super
think-
helpful,
I don't think we
and
want
it's
to be helpful, though.
extremely easy. And I can do that for everyone
No, it's
so that
I
people
just
aren't
did it.
scrambling to find the damn Zoom link.
I just did it.
Excellent.
Yeah, that's very useful. Thank you.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Any general discussion issues that anyone would like to raise?
Um, just I know it's a drop in the bucket, but I heard somewhere about grants that the Los Angeles Lakers actually have a community foundation that they give up to like $20,000 in grants. I don't know if that's something that we might consider pursuing.
We should.
Any little bit helps.
Yes,
Why not?
The Dodgers are doing the same thing.
Oh, okay. All righty. I actually just pulled it up on my website, the application. If it's okay, I don't know. Would you like me to make that application, or
Sure.
just
If you think you can, or
Sorry.
you can forward it to me, whatever you'd like to do.
okay? All right. I'll look at. Yeah, it looks like some pretty basic information. It just asks
Oh,
for
good.
our tax ID number. It's nonprofits. What your mission statement is, what you're planning on doing with the money, kind of basic things like that.
Oh, brilliant. We could fill that out really quickly. Could you forward that to us?
Yeah, I sure will.
That would be really
yeah,
good. It's the funny,
I will do that.
I find it absolutely remarkable. This is the time when we should be, because of the disasters of the Palisades and Eaton fires, this is when we should be making hay. This is the time for us to gain name recognition and networking and money. And we find ourselves in this difficult situation.
Okay,
It's very odd.
absolutely. Secondly, I know that when we had Pau Gasol as our spokesperson, and I don't know how we were able to arrange that. But I know that the Lakers have just gotten another international player that they traded for. I don't know if he has some kind of community thing because I know some of them like to just have some kind of community thing that they do. I don't know if he's interested in. His name is Luka Doncic. How do we get a hold of? What was our contact route to Pau?
It was the head of
Good
PR
question.
at the Lakers,
Yeah.
John Black, who's gone.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought being new to the area, maybe he might he might be looking for something to kind of stick his finger in, kind of say, hey, yeah, I'm with the community. Because I think he did give like $500,000 to for wildlife for the fire relief for Palisades, I believe.
All right.
Yeah.
We're looking
I know
at
the LAFD Foundation has made a boatload of money, and yeah. So
okay.
And lastly, and my apologies, but you guys haven't heard anything from the Rams organization, correct?
Negative. Nothing.
nothing. Yeah, nothing.
Nothing. Okay. My contact has assured me that they have spoken directly to them, and
okay.
And I'm waiting. I'm trying not to be a pest, but I think I may reapproach him and say, "Hey, what's the problem?"
Yeah,
Maybe
because
not like
now's
that.
the time to do a defensible space fun thing.
Yes,
We have all
I'll,
the we have the messaging, and it's all football themed. So now's the time to get them when they're off season.
Okay, I'll make another stab at it.
Thank you.
Or maybe attempt is a better word.
Perhaps.
And then, oh, and one last thing, this Cert Hurtado person, that's not our Frank, is it?
It's your Frank.
It's my, okay, all
It's
right.
your man, Frank.
All right, it sounds good. Well, thank you. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And Frank remains Frank.
he's Frank, all right.
Frank is Frank.
Frank is Frank.
Actually, let me amend that. He is doing a very good job as the CERT commander,
Took him a little bit.
but
Good
But-
for him.
he's actually
He
figured out how
seems
to
to have
embrace
gotten his feet under him.
So I'm going to close the meeting, but I'm also going to let you know that I'm going to share my screen as soon as the meeting's closed. So without objection, I'm closing the meeting at 11:35 hours this morning. Thank you very much, everyone, for being here.
Thank you.
Good to see
And-
everybody.
And
Rate,
before-
review, and subscribe.
before you go away, I thought I would share a little bit of this with you since we talked about it. This is from the morning of July the 8th in
Wow.
Pacific Palisades.
January.
January the 8th, through the lens of Greg Doyle up in the Palisades. So I'm just going to cut through a couple of these things. That's right in the center of the village at Drummond and Sunset.
Mm.
A lot of these
Needs-
don't even need me to, that's the LA Public Library.
Oh my.
You can really see the embers flying in this image.
Yeah.
Jeez.
And ironically, this is the building where we were developing a fire safe council for Pacific Palisades. They blew us off for 2 years, and then in October finally decided they would do it. And the good news is I did a workshop with the Palisades folks. There were more than 200 people there just this past Thursday night, and they're all gung ho to work with MySafe LA on rebuilding properly and creating a fire safe council. So that's good news moving forward. This is on Sunset, but as you'll see, there's no firefighting. They're just watching.
Mm-hmm.
And that, David, was just as a result of no water, just overwhelmed, just couldn't possibly do anything.
Water wouldn't do anything, Bill.
Well,
Pardon?
but there was also a problem with water, as you told us earlier.
Yeah.
Yes,
which you
but
picked.
but regardless of water supply, the fire was unstoppable at that point.
Right. I just didn't know whether they, individual buildings, what have you.
So this is at 7 in the morning after the sun has come up.
Wow.
You
Yeah.
can see the wind still going.
Yep. And I can see where nothing could be done there.
Right.
That church was intact on the 7th, and it burned down somewhere between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m. on the 8th. And there was a lot of phone calls made to ask the fire department to defend the church, and they were unable to do so.
There they are.
Yeah.
Once again, though, not firefighting.
Right.
Of course, Greg wasn't at the Eaton fire, which has similar stories, but somehow has managed to escape public scrutiny the way that the Palisades fire has had to deal with it.
This is on Sunset. This is a block from Caruso's shopping center.
Mm-hmm. It's an interesting observation, Cameron.
Oh, it's
She's
yes,
not alone.
it is interesting, and people at the very top of the food chain are shaking their heads.
Oh, oh, look how those flames are just laying over.
Yep. Just, yeah. And here's the interesting thing is by the time Greg took some of these shots right here, the winds died down. Not here, obviously, but the wind, a lot of the wind had laid down the
Mhm.
morning of the 8th. I mean, it kicked back up, but at 3 o'clock in the morning, it was freaking howling, as you know. But in the morning of the 8th, a lot of it had laid down and there's still no firefighting happening. So there's, in both fires, please, let's not forget about the Eaton fire.
Yeah.
We, a couple weeks ago, we drove through the whole Eaton Fire area.
Yeah, there's a lot more access there than the Palisades. That again is they're so very different considering they're just a few miles apart.
Yeah.
They did have, when we were there, they did have sheriffs posted in different places, but they didn't.
Yeah, there's no trying to get in. I mean, Palisade, you still areas of the Palisades you still pass.
Right. Whereas we just drove around with no.
Yeah.
up
Yeah,
there.
we did too. We were just up there.
Oh,
That's
okay.
where we did the defensible space story.
That's right.
And you can see the winds kind of cranking again here.
Well, it was interesting how a number of homes that Stacy knew the people had lived there that were lost.
Yeah, it's
And
I mean, you certainly don't want to compare heartbreak, but the just the history of Altadena is it's a terrible, terrible loss.
yeah. The Hearst fire didn't have any structures lost, did they?
No,
it did
Hearst,
not.
Lydia, and Sunset, oddly. No deaths, and evacuations went smoothly. It was kind of interesting. Yeah.
Look at
And
that.
we did the repopulation for the Hearst fire.
Mm.
And we observed the repopulation for the Palisades fire, and it was a disaster. It was
Oh,
terribly executed.
yeah.
What repopulation there was?
The repopulation process was completely ineffective, Bill.
No, what I meant was there were
Yeah,
so few homes
that's what he was saying, David.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Wow, there's somebody with water. Hi.
Oh my.
Mm. That's the podcast
Mhm.
banner heading.
Something going on there.
Yeah, it's a tanker. So that basically that truck is just water.
And this is Cal Fire too. I mean, this isn't city, so kind of interesting.
Park.
I don't know whether any of you saw on television the Altadena fire when a tanker did come through, and I think it was a county tanker, and they had the ability to throw out a lot of water onto the structure.
This is this is the Pacific Coast Highway.
Malibu, yeah.
Oh my.
This is about 11 in the morning.
Again on the 8th, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
On the 8th. All of this is on the 8th.
I'm trying to remember. Did he return on the 9th? No,
He went to Mandeville Canyon on the 9th.
that's it. That's it. That's where he got the aerial firefighting stuff. That's right. And then he went home for 2, 3 days. And then he went up to, everybody forgets about the fire in Castaic that happened like a week later. Do you guys remember that?
yeah.
When the winds kicked back up?
Sure.
And he went and got a bunch of stuff up in Castaic.
Oh, wow.
This is also on Pacific Coast Highway.
I think it's easy to see from these shots that the only thing that stopped the fire was the Pacific Ocean.
Yep, I agree. I love this photograph.
Great fire break.
Yes, a very effective fire break.
Hmm.
Greg does have a sense of humor. I like that about him.
It's interesting looking at some of these structures along the highway. It's as though you recognize them. You can't identify them specifically, but they look familiar. Wow.
Look at that car in the foreground.
Wow.
Mhm.
That's insane. Jesus.
And this is Department of Water and Power bringing water.
They are not going to come out well in the final investigation.
Who, DWP?
Yep.
Not sure who's going to come out well.
That's
Oh,
a-
yeah.
That's a
Oh,
good
yeah. It was
statement.
it was a systemic cluster. It really was.
Okay, guys, I apologize. I have to log off. I have to go to the hospital. My dad's there.
Oh,
Oh,
no. I'm
I just
sorry.
thought you guys should see this.
oh
Yeah, this is fantastic. Thank you for sharing. No, this is heartbreaking, but I mean, they're incredible images.
They are.
Wow. Just,
Harry, I'll get
just-
back to you regarding that live stream, and
Okay.
I'm thinking about you. I hope your dad's doing okay.
Thank you so much. All right. Bye, everyone.
all the
Bye-bye.
best.
See you soon. Okay. Bye.
Frankly. Where did Kristen go?
She is now an assistant chief in Valley Bureau.
Okay.
Does that mean Command 42?
Those are all gone. They don't use that anymore. She would be assistant chief 4.
Whew.
Yeah, they don't use the command anymore. It's AC 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
I
So she-
believe these are on the ninth aircraft shots, right?
Hmm.
No,
Oh.
these are all the 8 still.
Oh, this is still the eighth. Okay.
Oh my God, look at that. But she didn't take Jamie's place.
No, she's working for Jamie.
That's what I thought. Okay.
Look at that. That's a spectacular image.
Sure is. Wow. He's quite the photographer.
Yeah, he doesn't think he's any good.
This is my favorite shot, I think, because of the sun breaking through and the silhouette of the trees. And
His favorite is the one that I ended up using for the banner of Rebuild LA.
Mhm.
He wanted me to use it on his podcast episode as well, and that's because there's a bit of blue sky. I'll show it to you again. Where is it? Oh yeah, those are the aircraft stuff is terrific. That's his bag. That's his favorite thing to shoot.
That's a pretty interesting shot.
I've never seen that aircraft before.
Orange County.
Wow.
Leave it to Orange County. Just gotta have some big old bird. Who they think they are. Yeah, so this is the stuff that Greg loves to shoot.
LA County.
So this was the 9th, I believe, right, David?
Yes, the 9th.
And he
Well, no,
caught
this
to
was-
the top of the canyon. He said this is the way he described it on the podcast, is he got to the top of the canyon so he could shoot level.
I was going to ask, where was he when he got?
Yeah, it was pretty neat. Pretty neat.
I think this is another unbelievable photograph. We are actually bringing a copy of this photograph for the state fire marshal to put in his office.
It's on the cover of, you just sent that out, David. It's on the cover
Yeah.
of something. What is it?
Vertical magazine about.
There it is,
Federal
Vertical
Aid.
Magazine.
That says LA County Fire. That's interesting. Never seen that.
It is a leased aircraft from Colson to LA County.
Ah, okay.
Well, there was another one with Orange County on the side, so obviously either multiple aircraft or
There's Cole.
yeah, look at all of these are leased.
Wow.
All the super scoopers are leased.
Right. I knew
Not
that.
even Cal Fire doesn't have any super scoopers. They're all leased.
Wow.
Oh, by the way, coming up, guys, in the next week, if you're into this kind of thing, I interview, first of all, go to episode 3. That's Linnea Edmeyer. She's the PR person in charge of Cal Fire's aviation.
Mhm.
But coming up in like a week, yeah, I think like a week, like 7 days, maybe 8 days. I have an interview with Pascal Duclos, who's the chief pilot for the Quebec Super Scoopers.
Ah,
And it's really, really neat to hear him. He's a huge fan of he's been here 13 times to fight fire.
Wow.
Look at this
He's a
photograph.
huge fan of
that's
LA. He loves LA.
Edison.
Edison, yeah.
That's a bit of irony.
Well, there's just the aviation fighting fire from the air. I was surprised at how incredibly complicated it was, and what I mean is complicated in its structure and its management. Not, it's hard enough to drop that stuff in a steep canyon,
Right.
but it's nothing compared to like what's leased, what's owned, what comes in, what's an agreement between two international governments, for example, which is Canada and the U.S. The Quebec Super Scoopers have an agreement. It's not even a formal contract. They have an agreement with the federal government, the Department of Forestry. And by the way, I think there's 3 people left in that goddamn department now. Thank you so much. There are no forest wardens, whatever they're called, working in the forests around Lake Tahoe anymore. They're all gone. There's no more. They're just not there. They were fired. Anyway, they have an agreement with the federal government, and then they also have an agreement with the state of California. So it's really complicated.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And I don't know if he got any of the super scoopers. I don't think he got them until Castaic, but those super scoopers they were designed, invented, designed, and built in Canada. And they're the only aircraft that from the ground up was designed to fight fire. All these other aircraft are retrofitted to fight fire, to drop phosphatic or water. The super scoopers are the only thing they were designed to do was fight fire, which is why they go all over the continent, and why they sell these particular platforms to Europe.